How much are you up to for Larry?
290 for the 29th for Larry. I know. On 18.
No, you jumped too much here. You went from 175 to 200. That's a difference of how much?
25.
25.
And this state will have this much money?
Okay,
Oh,
let's have someone go up to the board. What date?
20.
Yep, I think yours is right. Yours is right. All right, let's have Ryan. Come on up to the board. Let's start way up here. Start with 5, 1, 2, 3.
We got it.
We have to go over here. 16. Let's go that far. Ryan, over here, I want you to write Larry's amounts. Who wants to come up and do Elizabeth's amounts for the dates? Come on, most of you have it on your paper. Come on, Pauline. No, wait a minute. What are you doing? What is this? We want 10 cents for up here, right, for Larry?
Yeah.
Okay, put 10 cents there. All right, wait a minute. Okay, now where is Elizabeth going to start? On what date?
8.
On the 8th. Here's the 8th here. Put it next to here. What is she starting at? How much money? All right, now you're going to keep going down. You can skip the cent signs for this one. All right, do the 9th now and keep going down. Try and keep them lined up. You got to keep them lined up, Pauline. So otherwise you're going to get messed up here. We've got the 8th, 9th, no, 45. You want another one? You want them next to each of these numbers. Who said that? Anybody else get it while this group is doing it? All right, I'll give it to you while they're still doing it. Nope. You know where most of you made your mistake was when you counted by 15s. If you mess up on one number, what's going to happen? All of them are going to be wrong. All of the multiples would be wrong. So someone that didn't get this right here, between 45 and 60, that meant every other number would be wrong. Yeah, do it on this side. They should have decimal points in it though, Ryan. Okay, 120 plus 15 more. Forget the dollar. Put the dollar down. Put the dollar down. Now what's 20 plus 15? You can do it on the side. Who can help her? 20 plus 15.
35.
All right, so 135. Now plus another 15. If you want, just add 15 right here to it to get your next number. Okay, 150. $1.50 rather. Now another 15 to that. That's 165. Over here, 165. Plus another 15 cents. What was the date, Tareen, that we're going to get to? All right, May 21st. So. the 21st. Pauline got to, thank you. Pauline got to 210. Ryan was at 210. So on May 21st, they would have the same amount of money. All right. How many had the 19th
I had the 18th.
or 18th? A lot of you made a mistake, like going from 90 to $1.05 on this side. Some of you had, would you have $1.15 or $1 whatever? But that was your mistake there. You had added wrong 15s. All right, would you just put those papers aside? All right, on your test Thursday, you're going to have to find the mean of numbers. What's the mean? Chris?
The average.
All right, the mean is just another word for average. All right. Give me 5 numbers that you might get on papers. We'll take grades. David?
87.
That's a good grade. Go ahead. Just any grades.
90.
Keep going.
95. 100. 100.
And one more.
85.
85. All right. How do we find the mean score, the average? Pauline?
You add them all up and then you divide by 5.
All right, because why are we dividing it by 5?
Because there's 5 numbers.
Because there are 5 numbers here. All right, when we add this up, what do we get? What do we get?
17.
What do we get? What's 1 and 8?
9.
And 9?
27.
27.
30.
27 and 8? 35. All right, what do we do with 457, Ryan?
You divide it by
457 divided by 5. 5 goes into 45.
9. Once. 2.
With a remainder of 2. So what would your average be?
91.
91. And again, if it says average or if it says mean, it is the same thing. All right. Now, looking up at the sign, using these same numbers, what is the range of those numbers and how do we find the range? Mark?
Take the highest and the lowest.
All right, what's the highest number?
100.
What's the lowest?
85.
What do we do with those numbers?
Subtract them.
And what do we get?
8.
Oh, this is going to be a 9, remember?
1.
15 is your range. What's the last one, the median? How do we find the median? What do we have to do with this same group of numbers? Jen?
You line them up in order,
From
least to greatest.
least to greatest. So which one's going to go first? Can you say it?
85.
85. Then what?
87. 90. 95. 100.
And which number is the median?
90.
How did you know that? Why did you pick that one? We lined them up from least to greatest. But why did you pick this number?
Because there's 2 on each side.
Right, it's the middle number. You've got 2 here, 2 here. So the median is the middle number when you line them up from least to greatest. On your test, you're going to have to find a group of numbers. You're going to have to find the mean for it. You will have to find the range for those numbers and the median for the same set of numbers. Questions on that first before we go ahead?
My dad's in 18th grade and he's learning about these kind of things.
He's in 18th grade?
Yeah.
You mean college is he in or taking courses?
And he's just learning about me and playing.
Well, just think of the things that you're learning then. Remember, we're doing fractions. We did a little bit of algebra at the beginning of the year with letters. Some people never even learn that. Flynn?
But also people when it depends on what they learned when they were kids too, because when they were kids they weren't learning about means and averages and medians.
No, a lot of times they weren't. A lot of times, what did they learn? Basic addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, maybe some fractions, maybe some decimals. On the test, you're also going to have graphs. What are the 3 kinds of graphs we talked about? What's one, Ryan?
Pie graph.
Pie graph. All right, because it looks like a circle, like a pie. All right. What's the other kind, Melissa?
Line graph.
All right, remember when we had here, where they were divided this way, and we had to plot certain points, and then connect the points, whether it went up, down, and the other type of graph, Jessica?
Bar graph.
Bar graph. And again, this way, you may have a bar here, here, this, all right? Why do we use a graph? Why do we use graphs? Melissa?
It's easier to see them than to read a whole paragraph.
Right. You can get the same information looking at one graph that you can by reading a whole page or a whole paragraph with the same figures in it. What's the difference between a table and a graph? We did tables yesterday when we were doing estimating. Sarah?
Tables generally have more words. Tables usually have more words.
Tables have usually more words, not quite as picturesque as this. All right, so you may have a table here where you have a list of things here and maybe numbers going along. Also, you can see a relationship better on graphs than you can on a table, because the table may go certain years and yet it may jump from a high number to a low number, to a low number, to a high number. Whereas on this graph, you would be able to see exactly how it was going, all right, looking at the graph. What do you have to remember when you're making a line graph? Can I make a graph like this?
No.
Why? Excuse me, why? What do we usually do? What did I say for this year anyway you will always do?
You have to have it like
I want to describe it. You want to have it.
the same
Same what?
distance away from.
All right, we want them pretty evenly spaced like we have here. All right, for what you're going to be doing this year. They should be fairly evenly spaced. All right, for the graphs. When you have graphs here, what do you have to know about numbering the graphs? Going up this way. And I put 0, 10, 15, 17, 19. Can I do that, Pauline?
You gotta have like, if you count by tens, you gotta have them all by tens. If you count by ones, you gotta have them all by ones.
Right, you cannot change the space in between. If you're counting by tens, they all have to be by tens. If you're counting by fives, then they all can be by fives. All right. Does that hold true on the bottom? Remember when we did graphs and we put years on the bottom? Did all those years have to be evenly spaced?
No.
Lynn?
No.
We could have 1980 here and then 1988, maybe 1990 here. On the bottom, they don't have to be evenly spaced. We're going to assume that's an even circle for a pie graph. And we're going to say that it's going to represent $100 for a total. How much would this side represent, Melissa?
Half.
It would be 1/2 as far as a fraction. How much in dollars would it be? How much? $50. Now if I tell you that this is $25, how can we get a fraction? You can by looking at it, but how can we do it with numbers? Because some of the ones you're going to have on your test, you're not going to be able to look at it. It's not going to be exactly a half. Flynn?
You have to put 100 on the bottom and then 25 on the top.
You put 100 on the bottom and 25 on the top. I can use that as a fraction, but do you think that's going to be the easiest fraction to work with?
No.
Dividing this into 100 pieces and then talking about 25 of them? How can we make this fraction simpler?